Well, hello everyone. I hope you're having a blessed and beautiful day today. So I am driving in the car and talking. So you might hear the car a little bit. But I'm alone. So I thought I would get alone and be able to talk to you guys today. And one thing that I wanted to share is that I think a lot of people, they think that going to heaven is their right, and because they're a good person or they do things according to what they believe they should, or they help the homeless, or they live a good life, they're not a criminal, or even people who say, well, I'm perfect, I don't sin, I obey 100% of the time, I listen to God 100% of the time, I haven't fallen away, I haven't backslid. I mean, the list could go on and on, right? But we have to sit back and realize that going to heaven and going in the rapture and all of the above, that it's not a right, it's a privilege. And we as human beings have the privilege and the honor to serve a king who has created us with a plan and a purpose. And oftentimes we kind of think about how in our human minds we think, well, God needs us, he needs us, but really he doesn't. He loved us so much that he wanted to be with us, that he made us. He doesn't need us, he wants us. And he gives everybody, regardless of who you are, he gives everybody plenty of opportunity to come to him and have the privilege of being with him for eternity. But so many people have a skewed sense of thinking where they believe that it's their right, that they were born into a Christian family, and so they are automatically getting a one-way ticket to heaven. And that's not the way it goes. And as far as people, I have said it multiple times, and I still believe that we need to obey God, and we need to obey his word, and we need to listen to what he says and to live out our Christian life in the manner that is pleasing and honoring to him. But we will never do it perfectly 100% of the time, and I can even speak for myself where, I have gone into the flesh. I have done things that I didn't trust him enough. I worried about things that I shouldn't be worrying about. I should have just trusted him and known that he was going to go before me and take care of whatever situation. There's many times where we don't obey him 100% of the time. Though we should, we can't. We are not perfect. And, I will always encourage people to obey him and to listen to him and to do his word and to do his will. That is something that we need to live by, and we should be living by. But again, we're not going to do that perfectly 100% of the time, because we live in a fallen world, and we live in a world full of sin and full of hatred and full of things that please our flesh. And we fall into that every day. There's things that we fall into every single day. And, we can yell at our kids, and that's a sin. We mistreat somebody. We mistreat our husband or our wife or a friend or a stranger. We mistreat somebody, and that's a sin. I mean, there's sins that we don't even realize that we're doing. And, getting back to the point where, just because you grew up in a Christian home, just because you may be a good person to your standards, you've never committed a crime, whatever the case may be, if you have not placed your faith and your trust in Jesus Christ alone, and you have not accepted that free gift of salvation that he is freely giving, it has no cost to you. It cost you nothing, and it cost him everything, because he died. He's the one that was willing to take your death penalty. He's the one that was willing to be beaten and scarred for you, so that you could have that privilege of going to heaven to be with him. So again, going to heaven is not a right, it's a privilege, and it's an honor. And, we are coming to the end of the end. I mean, we can see it literally happening, jumping off the pages of the Bible. We can see prophecy happening daily. And we know that Jesus is coming, and it's not selfish for those who are looking for his return to be excited for him to come back. And it's not selfish for people who want to go to heaven to have that hope and that assurance of his return before his wrath is being poured out. And, there's many people in our lives that are trying to snuff out the light and snuff out the joy of people being excited and looking for his return. And what it does is it makes people fall asleep, and because they think that they're doing something wrong by watching for his return, or being excited that he's coming before the tribulation, or they begin to think that they're doing something sinful, or they're doing something wrong. Or if somebody tells you, oh, you're being selfish, they start to think and they start to condemn themselves for having that joy and that peace of knowing that our King is coming. And that's wrong to put that onto somebody, and instead of helping them to have that joy in their heart of being excited for his return. If you don't agree with the timing of the rapture, that's between you and God, but don't snuff out the light in other people who are excited for his return. Instead, why don't you try being excited for his return right along with them, regardless of the timing? Stop arguing with people on the timing of the rapture. If someone believes in a pre-trib, they have reasons why they believe that. I myself have reasons why I believe it, and I know it to be true, 100% true. But I'm not going to argue with someone if they don't want to see the evidence in the Bible, because there is plenty of evidence in the Bible that proves that it is a pre-trib rapture. But sometimes people can be so prideful and have such a hard heart and have such a hard mind that they don't even want to see what's right before them, and they take simple words that are in the Bible to mean and they twist it to mean something completely different, and it doesn't mean that at all. And you have to read the verses before and after the verse that you are reading so that you can put the verses together. You have to look through the Bible for other verses to put the verses together to find out what is going on. You have to allow the Holy Spirit to teach you the Bible and teach you and speak to your heart on the truth of what he's saying in his word. Just because the word tribulation is in the Bible doesn't mean that it is the tribulation. We all have tribulation in our lives. We all, daily, we go through things that are causing tribulations in our hearts and in our minds and in our lives. We go through backsliding things where, we begin, if you're saved, you begin to have tribulation in your life because you have fallen away. And that's a way for Christ to bring you back. It is not the tribulation where there's going to be wrath of God. So you have to look look closely at the Word and allow the Holy Spirit to teach you and to lead you and to speak to you, and don't just take one word out of context and say, and put it to what you want it to believe, because you can change the Bible as many times as you want to make it what you want it to say. So I'm going to leave that with you guys, because I just pulled up here at the store. But again, God gives each of us a free gift, and it's up to us to choose whether we want that free gift or we want to deny that gift. And if you deny that gift, you are not going to heaven, because you have denied. And you do not have a right to go to the owner's house and demand to be let in when the owner doesn't even know who you are. You can't go to the door and pound on the door and say, "Let me in." He's going to say, "I don't even know you." So I hope that kind of helps today, and hope it encourages you that, heaven is a choice that we can make, and you can either make good choices or bad choices. So with that, guys, I love you, and I will talk to you soon.